Members of the Senate are focusing on gun rights.
Major Supreme Court ruling.
Major ruling involving the Second Amendment.
The Supreme Court will be taking up a gun rights case.
The Supreme Court has just issued a major ruling.
The case that shocked the Supreme Court. Imagine this. 9 Supreme Court justices, people who rarely agree on anything, all reached the exact same conclusion. That's what happened in Barnes versus Felix. Unanimous. No dissent. Every justice, liberal, conservative, centrist, on the same side. And it all started with a 5-second traffic stop in Texas that changed the rules for every police officer in America. If you drive a car, carry concealed, or just care about your family's safety, this story matters to you. What unfolded in those few moments would rewrite police training manuals nationwide. The 5 seconds that changed everything. April 28, 2016, Houston, Texas. A man named Ashton Barnes was driving a rental car when Officer Felix pulled him over. The reason? $3.50 in unpaid tolls, less than the cost of a latte. As Felix approached, he claimed to smell marijuana. None was ever found. Still, he ordered Barnes out of the car. At first, Barnes seemed compliant, but suddenly he tried to drive away. In a split-second reaction, Officer Felix jumped onto the moving car's doorframe. 2 seconds later, he fired twice. Barnes died instantly. From the moment the door opened to the final shot, 5 seconds total. Those 5 seconds would ripple through the legal system for nearly a decade. The 5 seconds that changed everything. April 28, 2016, Houston, Texas. A man named Ashton Barnes was driving a rental car when Officer Felix pulled him over. The reason? $3.50 in unpaid tolls, less than the cost of a latte. As Felix approached, he claimed to smell marijuana. None was ever found. Still, he ordered Barnes out of the car. At first, Barnes seemed compliant, but suddenly he tried to drive away. In a split-second reaction, Officer Felix jumped onto the moving car's doorframe. 2 seconds later, he fired twice. Barnes died instantly. From the moment the door opened to the final shot, 5 seconds total. Those 5 seconds would ripple through the legal system for nearly a decade. Why this ruling matters. Let's break down what this means in plain English. Millions of Americans encounter police every year. If courts only focused on the final second, then any officer could create chaos and later claim, "I feared for my life." The Supreme Court said no more. Justice Elena Kagan wrote that courts can't wear chronological blinders. In other words, judges must now consider the entire chain of events, not just the moment force was used. This single shift changes everything. Poor tactics can now be used as evidence. Escalation caused by officers matters. Officer-created danger is officially relevant in court. Experts are calling this the biggest Fourth Amendment ruling since Miranda rights. It's a complete overhaul of how accountability works, what it means for gun owners and self-defense. Now let's talk about how this affects everyday people, especially those who legally carry firearms. Picture this. It's midnight, you're asleep, and suddenly your front door bursts open. You grab your legally owned gun, thinking someone's breaking in. Turns out it's police at the wrong address. Under the old rules, the courts might only look at you pointing a weapon, ignoring the fact that they failed to announce themselves. Now, the Supreme Court says context matters. Your right to defend yourself doesn't disappear just because someone later claims fear. This also changes traffic stop encounters. If you're carrying legally and follow every rule, hands visible, polite communication, clear notification, your compliance now carries legal weight. Police can't simply say, "I was scared because he had a gun." Courts will review everything that led up to that moment. In short, your lawful behavior now protects you in court as well as in life. How police training must evolve. Police departments nationwide are rewriting policies right now. De-escalation isn't just a best practice anymore, it's a legal obligation. If an officer could have calmed a situation but instead made it worse, that decision can now be used against them in court. Departments that still teach moment of threat analysis are setting their officers up for lawsuits. Training will now focus on de-escalation tactics, positioning and communication, totality of circumstances reviews. Even insurance companies are demanding better training because liability costs skyrocket otherwise. And yes, body cameras just became more important than ever. They don't just record what happened at the end, they show everything leading up to it. That footage could make or break a case on either side. What you need to know for your own safety. So what does this mean for regular people like us? Here's your quick guide. Stay calm and compliant during any police encounter. Keep your hands visible, move slowly, speak clearly, record interactions where it's legal. Every second of calm behavior builds your legal defense automatically. Parents, teach your kids this. Every yes, sir, and no, ma'am helps establish context that can protect them later. This ruling rewards good behavior from both sides, citizens who follow the law and officers who follow their training. Remember, officers can still use force when it's justified, but they can no longer create the danger themselves and then hide behind it. Barnes v. Felix isn't just another court case. It's a turning point in how America defines justice, accountability, and common sense. The unanimous message from the Supreme Court is simple. Context matters. The whole story counts. So what do you think? Does this make you feel safer? Or do you worry it limits police too much? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. If you care about constitutional rights, real-life law, and self-defense, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications because we've got more eye-opening cases just like this coming soon. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, knowledge is power.